Hi class, I chose to brand myself this semester. I wanted to develop a reputation and name recognition and web visibility online in the children's book industry. I like to write children's stories, so I wanted to get my name out there in case I ever submit a manuscript to an editor or an agent, they could find me online. So this class taught me I needed brand consistency. And in order to do that, I had to identify my values when I wrote my personal manifesto. And I had to think about what value I can contribute to the world of children's publishing and also develop my own niche or a unified message to send out into the world, which is my voice statement. Our first project was to design a logo, and I started out making illustrations, as you can see with the panda and my name Ellen in the crayon, but I realized a logo or an icon has to be very simple. So I tried to make the letter E in the elephant or in the bird, but it was still too illustrative. So I decided to start over and played around with word marks by writing my name and my initials at least 30 times in a whole bunch of variations of fonts. And then I picked my two favorite fonts and added simple shapes to make monograms. I love how the monogram looked, but I wanted something more colorful and memorable, so I selected my favorite monogram and tried to figure out why it was my favorite, and I realized it's because it had an Art Deco style to it, and it reminded me of a brooch that my grandmother had in her jewelry box of an insect. So that's really what I tried to do, is I made a stink bug with my initials in it, and I felt like that was unique, and that's the logo I landed on. Then I had to make my style guide, as you guys did too. And the style guide has the do's and don'ts, and the colors, the fonts, and what not to do, the and the yeah, that's okay, with my checklist of everything that you can and cannot do with my brand. So now that I established my brand, I had to brand my channels, which I started out with the banner image or the hero. So I did a high-low photograph, which is consistent with my style guide, and had to optimize it for each channel. And then it was time to grow my brand with the content creation. So I made posts, wrote an article, made a video, and did a paid ad. My first post on Twitter, I tried to use hashtags. I tried to make them highly visual and relatable. These are optimized for Pinterest, they're vertical. And I hit my target audience well on Pinterest, which is basically soccer moms and anybody that buys, writes, or loves children's books. And I decided to align myself with the Children's Literature Association of Utah. I'm on the board, and so I wrote my article and focused some of my post on our Beehive Book Awards, where the children's pick their favorite books each year. So I promoted my article about our nominees for the Picture Book Award winners and had pretty good success. Here's another tweet that I made to promote my article, and I promoted it on Pinterest. And it had great success, with the demographics on Pinterest being 81% women. My article about the book nominees the pins made 470 impressions. And my article was viewed 58 times. The native video was a lot of fun to make. I had 16 YouTube views, which wasn't very high, but over the semester I had 18% growth on Twitter. I went from 245 to 300 followers. And then it was time for the paid ad. My paid ad was fun. Again, I promoted the Beehive Book Awards to align my brand as a voice of authority in the world of award-winning children's books. And I had a good reach of 3,033 people, and 120 people would remember seeing my ad a day or two later. So I thought that was pretty good for $15. One of the reasons I was successful was I used a lot of hashtags and a lot of meta tags to spread the word. I put this Gantt chart in there because it reminds me that my brand will grow with small steps over time through the small and simple things I do. So my steps for what I want to work on in the future is I want to research the brands that are more successful than mine and use SEO and Google Analytics, and I guess just keep posting. So if you want to contact me, here are my handles, and thank you so much. I hope everybody has a great spring break.